Howdy y'all, Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome into this side of my garden. Today I'm going to be doing a seed unboxing for you guys from Haas Tools. Now most of my seeds that are in this binder here, most of my seeds are heirloom varieties, meaning they have been around for several generations, and I love growing heirloom varieties because there are just varieties in every shape, size, and color that you could possibly ever imagine. Purple tomatoes, purple peppers, you know, just so many different options available that have just been handed down over the years and generations on up to today. What I'm going to be unboxing today is mostly hybrid seeds. So I am incorporating more hybrid seeds into my garden purely because growing anything in North Texas that is not like a native variety here can be incredibly difficult. We have very, very hot and humid summers, so we get a lot of pests. A lot of stuff just fizzles out because it just gets too hot for them to do very well. So I'm incorporating some more hybrids for the purposes of being disease resistant and also heat tolerant, so that hopefully I can boost my production numbers, get some more food preserved to put into the pantry, get some more food that we're eating fresh, and overall just harvesting more out of my garden. So I ordered several different types of things, anything from onions to tomatoes to peppers and squash and cucumbers. And full disclosure, I did already open this to make sure everything was in it. I wanted to make sure that the order was complete before I talked to you guys about it, and it was. And so they sent everything in a Ziploc baggie to keep it nice and organized and all of that. And they also sent a really cute sticker that says "Hey neighbor" on it. So I will actually be adding this sticker to the bucket that you guys are currently sitting on, because that's where I've been putting all my garden stickers. So let me just pull these out of the packet here and we will go through them kind of one by one. I'm going to give you very, very brief information on all of them. Outside of the onions, everything is going to be hybrid. The onions are both open pollinated. I am not sure if the second variety has reached heirloom status as of yet, but right now it's still open pollinating, meaning that it is a stabilized variety that you can save the seeds from, and it will be true to type whenever you go to plant those seeds the next season. So the first thing is going to be jambalaya okra. And if you've been following my channel for very long at all, you will know that one of my favorite things to grow in the summer garden is actually okra. I love it. I love eating it almost every way that it can be cooked, with the exception of fried and boiled. I don't like them that way, but pretty much every other way I'm golden with. So I want to grow as much okra as I can. A lot of this is going to be saved for next year's spring and summer garden, but I did want to go ahead and get onion seeds because I didn't have any, and I do plan on growing onions this year, which I believe I will start seeds for in October or November. I don't have that planting calendar worked out completely yet, but I needed the seeds to go ahead and get ready for that. But jambalaya okra is a highly productive hybrid okra with green pods, as you can see here. It is great for pickling, frying, and stewing. It reaches maturity in 50 days. This plant grows to 5 to 6 foot tall, so it's not as tall as some of the varieties that are growing in my garden right now, but that makes it a whole lot easier for harvesting. From what I was reading, it starts setting pods once it reaches 1 to 2 foot tall, so it's going to be an early producer as well as a pretty prolific producer. And it is best to harvest whenever the pods are 4 to 6 inches long, unless you're going to be pickling them, and then you want to pick them a little bit shorter. They'll be slightly more tender and fit in the jar better. And then the next thing is going to be the Sun Gold cherry tomato. All right, so this is an indeterminate F1 hybrid hybrid, excuse me, yellow gold cherry tomato with a tangy citrus flavor. This reaches maturity in 70 days. And it is a vigorous producer with 10 to 15 fruits per cluster, and it is heat tolerant. It's going to continue to produce throughout the warmer months. I haven't had tomatoes come out of my garden since June, so I'm very excited that hopefully I will have some summer into the hot summer tomatoes next year. The next variety is going to be the Hidalgo Poblano pepper. I'm growing this mostly for the use of letting it ripen and then drying it and using it for ancho chili powder for tacos and such. This is a F1 hybrid with extra large 6.5 inch long by 3 inch wide poblano peppers. So these are going to be pretty big guys. When the peppers ripen, they are called ancho and often used in chili powder, birria, mole, lots of different Mexican cuisines, Texas, Tex-Mex, all of that kind of fusion stuff. And it reaches maturity in 70 days. All right, the next one is going to be Green Zebra Hybrid Zucchini. Now, I have struggled to grow squash here at this house every year that I have planted it. I can get the plants, sometimes I can get the plants to germinate, sometimes the roly-polies eat the seedlings. Now, whenever the plants do germinate, this year the problem that I had was I was not getting any female flowers, I was only getting male flowers, and then I had squash bugs and squash vine borers galore. So I pulled all those plants. I currently have 2 squash plants growing for the fall, and they're doing okay. They're growing. They aren't blooming yet, but they're not very big. So we will see if I can get fall squash, but if not, I'm going to give this one a try next spring and summer and fall. And it is striped with light green and regular green variation, as you can see there. This is a great variety for steaming and frying. 50 days to maturity, so pretty fast growing crop there for that one. Most squash is pretty fast growing, at least the summer squash varieties are pretty fast growing. The next one is going to be Trapeo Serrano pepper. And this is a variety with extra large serranos. So as you can see in the palm of this person's hand, they are larger than their hand. On vigorous plants, peppers average 5 to 6 inches long and have a moderate heat that is great for eating raw or cooking. As far as serranos go, we use them for salsas. My husband slices them fresh and eats them with chips and cheese. Not nachos, just regular cheese right out of the fridge. It's weird, but that's what he loves. And if you ripen and dry it, then that becomes chiles de arbol, which is commonly used in a ton of like the taqueria salsas and a ton of other Mexican cuisine. So hopefully I can get some prolific plants growing to be able to do that, to be able to do that next year. Those reach maturity in 65 days, if I did not say that. The next one is going to be the Super Sweet 100 tomato, and this is a F1 hybrid indeterminate variety that produces 15 to 25 fruits per cluster, so really large clusters of fruit there. Excellent sugary sweet flavor, reaches maturity in 65 days, will continue to produce all the way up until the first frost. So again, looking for something that's going to give me some tomatoes in the dead heat of summer. Now, cherry tomatoes will typically do that here. Mine all got sick early on, so I had to remove them this year, but in years past, I was able to get June, July, August cherry tomatoes. I'm just adding to that arsenal with some hybrid varieties. The next variety is going to be the Texas Early White Onion. So this is a short day, open pollinated white onion that is resistant to bolting. So with onions, you have short day, intermediate day, and long day. And that just means how much sun is required in order for the bulbs, the onion bulbs themselves, to bulb up and form. Texas, you can grow short day and some intermediate day varieties. The farther north you go, the longer day length you are going to need for your onions. This variety obviously was developed in Texas. These produce large 1 pound, 4 to 5 inch diameter white onions that mature in 110 days. The white onions I typically use a lot with Tex-Mex, Mexican cuisines. They really rely a lot upon white onion for a lot of the flavors in their food compared to the yellow or red onions. Whenever I'm making Indian cuisine, I tend to lean a lot on red onions, and then yellow is just my regular all-purpose other than those two cuisine type onion. I do not have red onion seeds yet. That's still on my to purchase list, but I plan on growing all three, white, yellow, and red, so that I make sure that I have all my bases covered for whatever it is that I'm going to be preparing. But the next variety is Red Snapper Hybrid Tomato. This is an F1 hybrid. This is a determinate variety, so it's really gonna set most of its fruit all at one time, making it really easy for canning, making sauces, pastes, salsas, those things like that, because you're going out and you're harvesting it pretty much all at once. That way you're not having to continuously continue the canning process for multiple days and weeks. But this one is a large slicer variety with heavy yields of large to extra large tomatoes. This one is disease resistant and heat tolerant. Perfect, because Texas tomatoes get a lot of diseases and it gets really hot here. So this one reaches 75 days to maturity, and the plant is going to be more of a bush growing habit compared to the vines that those cherry tomatoes will grow on. The next variety is Arapaho cayenne pepper, and this one is a hybrid variety with early maturity and heavy yields on compact plants. Okay, so there we go. Cayenne especially has a ton of medicinal properties as far as peppers go, so I'm trying to really stock my pantry with lots of these just to have on hand. My grandma, my nanny in Louisiana, she will just go out into or she would, whenever my papa grew a garden, she would just go out and pick cayennes and just stand there eating cayennes while she's harvesting everything else, not need a drink of water or anything, and she is very rarely ever sick. So I know that that's just like an anecdotal thing, but it pretty much convinced me of the power of the peppers. So back to these. These will grow on compact plants. The fruits are 8 to 9 inches long, so these are going to be longer varieties of cayenne with moderate heat. That is great for frying and making salsa, and these will reach maturity in 80 days. Okay, so the next variety is another squash. This is going to be the partial eclipse squash. So this is a bicolor patty pan type squash that is pale yellow with dark green striping and variegation. This is a firm textured squash that has kind of a nutty flavor, making it perfect for roasting and grilling. And this one is best harvested whenever the squash are 3 to 4 inches in diameter. And this one is even faster producing. It reaches maturity in 45 days. So mega quick growing on that one. All right, now we have the Jolene tomato. I got this one for 2 reasons. 1, it's a tomato, and 2, it is Jolene. Hello, if you are a fan of Dolly Parton, you're probably a fan of the song Jolene. And even if you're not a fan of Dolly Parton, maybe you like the song Jolene. But anyway, this is a determinate variety that performs well in harsh, humid conditions. Hello, Texas. This one is large to extra large fruits that are perfect for canning. It is disease resistant and heat tolerant. So thank you, Jolene, for being everything that I need. The next one is the 1015Y Texas Super Sweet Onion. This is a short day yellow onion that is one of the most popular sweet onion varieties. They average 1 pound and 4 to 5 inches in diameter, so another larger onion, and it reaches maturity in 115 days, so just a little bit behind those white onions. And then the last variety in this order is going to be the Hostinator pickling cucumber. This is a high yield hybrid variety that has dark green fruits, as you can see here. Extremely prolific and great for southern climates in the spring and in the fall, and this one reaches maturity in 50 days. So relatively quick growing. Between the squash and the cucumbers, I am harvesting food in less than 2 months, and that's pretty incredible. Alright, but this is it for the seed unboxing. I will have a few more at least 2 more seed orders for the rest to finish out this year to gear up for next year's garden season. Like I said, I still need to find those purple onion seed varieties, and I'm also going to be participating in a pretty large seed swap in October. So I will try to do an unboxing for you guys on that one, because I always get super fun varieties in that seed swap. And by the way, a seed swap is a great way to build up your seed stash and sort of, you know, get rid of the seeds that you tried to grow and maybe they didn't work out for you, or you decided you didn't like them after all. But that's a great way to kind of switch things in and out for things you don't want, for things that maybe you want to try. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you liked the seed unboxing, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, do all those different things. But until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye.